My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Join us as we seek the truth and travel the long road to justice. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi Fruit Loop. We're starting early today. What's good with you?
I know, right? Up with the roosters.
We were supposed to do it last night, but I was asleep before 9 o'clock. I called you at 8:30, and I just said, I can't. Like,
Yeah,
I need to. Your mama's old. I need to rest. But I did. I slept probably 10 hours. And after this, I'm going to take a nap because I can. So before we get started, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Too Cool T-Shirt Quilts. And one thing that I learned about them is all the blocks in the quilts are different sizes. And this is kind of unique to them. They invented this method.
Yeah, I hadn't paid attention to that much, and I went back and looked at it, and
Yeah.
it really is cool. Because normally the T-shirt, other ones you see are all the same size.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all the same size everywhere, but yeah, this is totally different.
So give them a visit over at twocooltshirtquilts.com/pretty lies and alibis because they'll sponsor us if you go visit.
And they can take your T-shirts and make them into a quilt that is too cool.
There
like
you go.
that.
So I didn't tell you this, but I had a friend that lives in Charleston call me yesterday, and she has an extra front row ticket to see Michael Bublé tomorrow night. And she was like, "You want to go?"
Dude,
I'm so excited.
his name is funny.
Bublé.
Looks like Bubbly. Bubbly.
Okay, so I know we're trying to keep these episodes separate, but yesterday the Northport police put out there the reason they thought that Brian was home or they knew where he was is because his mama drove that Mustang back to the house with the ball cap on, and the Northport police thought it was Brian.
So my question with that, did it go in the garage?
They don't have a garage. It came out front. I think when she passed by them and she had this cap on, apparently they thought it was Brian. It was his mom.
Wouldn't you have seen her get out of the car?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not even surprised at this point. I'm trying to be understanding of this crazy case, but man, my daughter made a meme that I posted that a lot of people liked. If you're on our social media, go check it out. But I mean, really, how can you mistake a 60-something-year-old woman for a 20-something-year-old dude?
Bald-headed dude at that.
Yeah, I mean, as if this case could not get any stranger. There we go.
This goes along with they thought he was there and then they reported him missing, right?
Well, yeah. If you remember, Northport police, when early on, they were saying, we know exactly where Brian is. Well, the reason they say they knew exactly where Brian was, they thought his mama was him. in the ball cap in the Mustang. So they thought it was him coming back from his little hiking trip. Ay.
Wow.
Also, just want to put out there, Skyline News on Facebook is totally spreading false information. Don't fall for it. This is not even a news source. I think it's literally a redneck in North Carolina that does his reporting from a truck. Okay. There is a news story being spread around that says the DNA does not match the skull found. It is just a lie for clicks. And the sad thing, it's been shared like 150,000 times. In fact, JB from WFLA put a tweet out this morning that said, here's the post, don't spread it. Because people have kind of lost their mind with this case. It's insane.
Yeah.
They will take anything anybody says, and now it's he's really alive. I don't know, but don't spread this Skyline stuff. It just, I hate for Gabby's parents to have to go online and see a bunch of nonsense that people make up for clicks. I don't care that people believe it because we know kind of what the deal is. It seems really obvious what happened in this case. Think about her family. They don't want to have to read all this nonsense, y'all.
Yeah.
Our listeners are good. They kind of know where to go. Anyways, we're going to jump right into this iCloud timeline with Lori and Alex and the whole band of misfits, whatever you want to call them. So the last thing we talked about was, if you remember, was when Chad was comparing himself to Harry Potter.
Yes. What page was that? It was like, what page are we on? I wasn't listening.
You got to go down to where the red.
I was wondering why it wasn't color coded.
Yeah. No, it's color coded. You better refresh, girl.
No, you said 8, right?
I don't know what page.
Look, we in trouble.
Oh Y'all my gosh. That. See, too late. We can't think. Too early. I haven't had enough coffee. So if you go to the iCloud account.
Yeah, document.
I'm there. Okay. So we're down to July 29th through the 31st, 2019. And according to what they were able to find in these documents, Lori, Alex, and Melanie Pulowski traveled to Oceanside, California. There were no pictures of JJ and Tylee seen on the phone during this time. So this is a week and a half after Charles is murdered. Yep. July 30th, there's a text from someone named Bubby, who is Chad. And he says, yes, we might need to release a little steam when we talk, with 2 fire emojis. Anyway, this is the chart that checks what percentage mortals are still in their body. It worked for my friend's wife who died, my neighbor, George Bush, Stanley, etc. I kind of forgot about it because we've been dealing with zombies and demonic entities. But this afternoon, Tammy said she felt lightheaded, as if her body and her spirit weren't connected. I mean, pulling George Bush and Stanley into this but remember, didn't they pull Oprah into this at some point?
She was one of the darkest beings.
Oh my gosh. Poor Oprah. All right. So in another text, he said, I got the inspiration to go back to my original death percentages that helped us track Charles, Ned, etc. Tammy is very close. Her percentage has fallen steadily since Hiplos left. It is encouraging, with heart and lips emojis. So this is July the 30th. This is, let's see, Charles was killed on the 11th. So you see now the focus, as we said in the last episode, started to become JJ. We knew that Tylee was now somebody named Hillary, according to Lori, and Tammy. So you see, once Charles was gone, it just kind of like a domino effect with everybody else. So August the 3rd, Melanie Pulowski texts Alex and said, "It's Leilani Lee. Save my number for you guys only." The contact was saved on the phone as Miriam.
So they were all just getting burner phones.
Yeah. I mean, didn't we hear at some point it was 30 or more? It's a lot.
30 or 60?
There's no telling. I would get so confused. I would be like, which phone do I use?
Well, didn't Tylee say something about her mom like a drug dealer?
Yeah. Yeah. She said she looked like a drug dealer with 3 phones in her lap or something like that. So jump ahead to August 8th. There is the photo of Bailey and JJ taken. And if you remember, JJ's kind of sitting on a blanket and Bailey's on a leash. So the next day, August the 9th, after this picture with JJ and Bailey is taken, Lori places the ad to sell Bailey. Now, if you remember, Charles got Bailey for JJ. He was having a hard time sleeping through the night. And it's expensive to buy these dogs and have them trained. It's thousands of dollars. A lot of people have to go through like a charity to get them. But Charles had this dog for JJ to help him. And the ad said, Bailey has such a sweet spirit. He has brought so much love to his home, but his owner recently died and he needs a new home. He is fully trained and with certification as a service dog, up to date on vaccinations. He has been trained with children in the home, non-smoking home. Bailey is sweet and friendly around other dogs, looking for new owners who will appreciate and love him the way he has been loved. Spent $7,000 on service training. He is a full-bred golden doodle, has experience on airplanes, and has experience with people with autism. She was asking $2,500 for Bailey. Now, let's do the inventory for poor JJ. He got moved around a few times from home to home. Chaos with Lori. I don't want to say Lori and Charles. Lori created the chaos that Charles had to deal with. Charles is murdered. So all JJ probably knows is Dad's not here. If you remember at school, JJ was saying that Charles wasn't in heaven. He was just away on business.
Yeah.
Now,
here's the thing.
What?
You can't sell a service dog like that.
No. In fact, the trainer saw the ad for Bailey and contacted Lori and got the dog back.
Yeah. I mean, that's just stupid on her part.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, you can't do it.
Right. No, it's insane. And then you just look at just a little smidge of what JJ dealt with that year. And now she wants to get rid of his service dog. This woman, have mercy. By the way, something we're going to cover on the next podcast. I don't know if you know about this. There are some texts between Lori and Zulema where they're convinced that they're getting younger and they're talking about having periods again. And then I'm like, they're happy about it. And so if I ever needed any final confirmation, these ladies were crazy.
There you
Celebrating the fact that you got your period at 40 something. That's it.
There you go.
So investigators noted in August. Oh, wait. I jumped ahead. Yeah. August the 10th at 12:18 a.m. Lori sends Chad a text to check on JJ. She said he woke up saying crazy stuff and wouldn't go back to sleep. And she said he was talking to his evil spirit named Blake. Chad responds that JJ was still JJ, and he was being told that JJ's spirit recognized Blake was evil and was unsettled by him. So just a month before JJ's murdered, investigators started to notice in August, it seems like Chad and Lori were having a hard time carrying on their affair with Chad still being married. So what did Lori text Chad on August 11th?
So Lori texts Chad, you should give all your love and attention to your wife and family. I'm just a distraction. Go have fun with your family. I really want you to. I just can't be in the way anymore. If things change, we can talk, but we have nothing until things change anyway.
This, to me, this is absolute manipulation by Lori to freak Chad out into thinking he's going to lose this goddess that he has to get him to hurry up and do whatever he's going to do to Tammy. That's just kind of how I read it.
I say that's gasoline to murder Tammy.
Agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you know how he feels about her.
Yeah, it's his goddess, and he feels like Harry Potter under the stairs when he's home. Yeah. So that would put a fire under Chatty Boy.
Oh, yeah. So August 12th, Lori has a meeting with Social Security at 1:30 p.m. in Apache Junction, Arizona. I've been there, actually. It's like a little small town. August 14th, 2019, screenshot of 2 wedding bands purchased. Lori's was a size 4 and Chad's was an 11.5. This order was canceled by the seller due to other obligations. Lori texts a screenshot of the rings to Melanie P.
So that lets you know there. before Tammy is murdered that Melanie Pulaski knows the goal is for Chad and Lori to get married.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, Lori texts that on August 11th. This is 3 days later. So evidently something was said or changed, right?
I'm sure Chad probably said, she's getting weaker, her spirit is slipping, the veil is becoming thinner. Some bogus stuff like that to keep Lori on the leash until he could murder Tammy and they could get married. It's just, geez Louise. I mean, in a perfect world, look, if they want to have this crazy little cult, send JJ to Kay and Larry. Tyler could go live with Colby, divorce your spouses, and live happily ever after in La La Land.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's crazy. So August 17th, text from Melanie P. Did they pick up Bailey? Lori didn't respond. August 20th through the 25th, Lori travels from Phoenix to Idaho using the name Lori Ryan and back to Phoenix using the same name. Why are you going to travel under that name? You ain't been that name in what? Charles and her were married 13,
I think almost 14 years. Yeah.
14 years. Yeah.
I think, again, this, to me, it screams that they are, even way back in August, doing things to hide. So if the police are looking for flight records, maybe they're looking for Lori Vallow and not Lori Ryan. To me, it seems like premeditation in a way to cover tracks.
Yep. Yep. Here's my thing, though. How do you fly like that?
I don't know. That's a good question, because
like your name has to match your ticket unless you purchased the name under Lori Ryan.
It could be,
she
but then
could have had an ID, I guess.
Right. And so for me, I kept my maiden name as my middle name.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe she had kept Lori Ryan Vallow. She's got so many last names to choose from. Just pick an X last name. But that is a good question, because it's not like you can just hop on a plane without the proper ID.
Has to match your ticket and everything.
Maybe she had a fake ID or something. Who knows? Or kept an ID from back when she was married to
But
him.
it would still be expired, so you would think they would catch that. So who knows?
That's true. Really good question.
Yep. So the month of August, Lori moves to Idaho. This is August 2019. They have screenshots of a CenturyLink confirmation, which is an internet company. Budget rental van receipt was created on August 17th, 2019. A photo of a different apartment complex than the one they lived in. Why would you do that unless you were looking, I guess?
It could be that maybe a picture was sent to her by somebody who was already there, like Chad. You don't know. I mean, I'm sure they were apartment shopping at some point.
Yeah. So a photo driving by Kennedy Elementary, and this is the school JJ briefly attended before his murder. It's just weird.
Maybe they're just showing her places that, or she was taking them to show somebody else. I don't know. It is kind of weird, but they're weird people. So there you go.
Screenshot of confirmation for Hampton Inn in Rexburg on August 22nd, 2019. And then photos at BYU on August 22nd, 2019.
Now, when I saw this, I kind of, reading through the documents, there is an interview with one of Tylee's friends, the teenage girl from Arizona. She's been on a few interviews, really cute girl. Seems like her and Tylee were really close. At one point, the friend is giving an interview to police, and she said that Tylee had told her she was going to BYU, and it kind of made me think, do you think Lori might have convinced Tylee that she was going to put her in BYU as more of an incentive to come along to be a babysitter for JJ? Because I don't know that Tylee would have lied to her friend about potentially going to BYU.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem like Tylee was on board with any of this. She was just brought along, unfortunately. I just thought that was interesting when her friend said that Tylee told her, because the friend texted her the day she should have started school, and Tylee didn't answer, because I think at that point Tylee was already dead. So it just makes me wonder, was that one of the promises maybe that Lori made to get Tylee to come a little easier?
Could be.
Just a thought.
Yep. So there was a screenshot of 565 Pioneer Road, which that's the townhomes they lived in Rexburg. But the screenshot was taken at her home in Texas.
So it kind of makes you think maybe Chad was going by these places, checking out for her, sending her pictures. That's kind of my guess.
Yeah.
So on September 3rd at 10 a.m., Alex sent Lori a text asking what she was doing. And Lori responded she was working on Z's, which Z's are zombies. And that was that's what the investigator said. Alex would tell Lori that he was proud of her and says, no more Z's, no more zombies. So we're going to do these back and forth. It just works better. Lori replied, we are trying to get to the bottom of what we need to do to eliminate them completely. I'm sure you will be told also.
Alex says, I'm going to get lunch and probably go to the range to sight in my rifles.
Lori says, bad news on our brother.
Alex says, what's that?
Z.
Alex says, really? When was that?
As of early January.
He then says that explains his interest in Charles.
Ned recruited him shortly after. This is why he's part of the 24. Ooh, the 24. I wonder if that's like the number of zombies of people they knew.
Yeah. I think that I read that somewhere. Alex says that made sense. Wow.
Lori says, more sad news. Guess who is the final Z of the 24?
Alex says Pops or Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
And then says, it's redacted. Alex says something else and it's redacted.
Nope. Think of Judas, who loved me completely, then turned against me.
Alex says, tell me.
Yes, our sweet Adam. He's in paradise. The real Adam. It finally makes sense.
Alex says, when did that happen?
About the time he turned. Makes sense. He's being dedicated to Brandon and Ned.
Alex says, so February?
Yep.
And then Alex says, how did Adam die, or was he forced out?
It's crazy, I know, but it's sad and true. Now we know all 24. Forced out, I think. With his anxiety, he wasn't strong enough to fight back.
Alex says,
JJ is stronger, fights them off every day. Adam was a 3 light. JJ is a 4.3 light.
Alex says that's when he yells, no.
Yep.
Alex says, are you going to tell Shish about Adam or?
No. And the name is redacted. I'm thinking Summer. It says trust level is too low.
Alex says, okay, my lips are sealed.
Good boy. Learning more. I'll fill you in this afternoon. So we know that Adam was talking to Charles about having this intervention with Lori. So this is after Charles has been murdered. So the only explanation as to why they would think she's wackadoodle and these beliefs are crazy is because he's a zombie.
Yeah.
So September 8th, 2019, I'm sorry. September 5th, 2019, there's an email sent to JJ school in Arizona. That was that really good school that he thrived at. And Lori emails them and says she has accepted a job in Idaho and JJ won't be returning. So September the 8th is when we saw that last picture of Tylee in Yellowstone with JJ. And then they note that there's also a photo of Lori and one with Lori and JJ.
So September 12th, 2019, email looking for Charles's tax return and an email to Alex's landlord in Arizona saying Alex was in a car accident and unable to return. September 14th, Lori texts Alex saying she was going to pick up JJ's medication. Authorities say the medication was never picked up. And then also on September 14th, photo of JJ at Bear World. The investigator notes Tylee isn't seen in these photos. September 13th through the 16th, emails between Lori and someone, it's redacted, about JJ.
So I think this is a good place to stop. We just wanted to make this kind of a short one today, but the flow of this, it just, every time I read this, it blows my mind.
Yeah.
There's so much cover up going on with everything they do. The burner phones, the secret email accounts with bogus names, the bogus names in the phones. So a lot of people have asked me, you really think that she had something off? I think she had religious delusions or whatever.
But I'm
But if
telling
you-
you, the main one that sticks out to me is the text to Chad about saying she's in the way, and
right.
that's huge.
That is a big deal because it just screams to me to strike a little bit of fear into Chad. Okay, so
Yeah.
Charles has been murdered. Now the only thing we're waiting on to get married is your wife.
Yep.
And it just seems like that was meant to invoke a little panic in Chad
Yep.
to get him moving. So it's insane. But no, I do think Lori believed all this stuff. However, if you look, because somebody said, oh, you think she's crazy? Well, kind of, yeah. But I also think that they did everything to cover this up. You can still have religious delusions and plan murders.
I think all this stuff, and nobody knows the truth if she's truly crazy or she's playing a game. Like, nobody knows. But I think reading this stuff, this will make you go crazy.
Oh my gosh. I'm burnt out. I'm telling you, I've read through all over 1,000 pages almost. And I think that my brain's like, girl, we got to stop and do something normal.
Yeah, it's like The Walking Dead on steroids.
Yeah, it's a fantasy world where
Yeah.
they're so far off LDS doctrine. And it seems like everybody's putting in little pieces, like Chad especially is sort of putting in bits and pieces of movies and stories and fantasy. And it just reads to me like maybe something somebody would have written in middle school.
Yeah.
I don't know, but these people bought it hook, line, and sinker, but they're totally guilty. They're all going to go to prison for the rest of their life, as they should. So when you're covering up stuff, I mean, you may be 50 Shades of Grey, but when you covering it up, you cover it up because you know what you're doing is wrong. When you're truly crazy, you parade it, and you have like we said, when they're in the police station, why didn't they say, we killed an entity, we killed a demon, not Charles? Because they knew it was hogwash.
Exactly.
So don't misunderstand us. I've had a couple of people questioning whether we thought Lori should be held accountable. Of course.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, don't misunderstand when I say they believe this stuff. All you have to do is read the text between like Lori and Alex, two people who wouldn't have to fake it in private text if they really didn't buy into this. But you see, they're both feeding off each other.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so she also had a hearing last week under seal.
Yeah.
We won't know what happened. So
yeah, no, we want her to pay for it because she did just as much. Crazy don't try to cover up and lie. Crazy, just crazy all over the board. So
exactly. And I'm convinced if she's had a break in prison or jail, it's because she don't like being in jail. She backed in a corner.
She don't like that orange.
But Lori's never been really accountable for much in her life. She's always been allowed to get away with outlandish stuff. Yeah. So I think it's a hard lesson when you can't charm the jail people to let you leave, and she's screwed and she knows it. So anyways, that's all we have for you guys. Just wanted to clear that up. Some people were confused.
Don't be confused.
No, don't be confused.
Her to pay for it. We want everybody to pay for what they do.
Oh yeah.
Evil is evil.
Yes, it is. All right, guys. We will be back later in the week. Tomorrow I'm going to see Michael Bublé. So unless we get it done early, we might catch you guys on Thursday.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.